Hi, you're watching Teen Kids News. I'm Reed. Let's begin with our top story. E-cigarettes. A lot of teens may think they're an okay alternative to regular cigarettes, but as Benjamin reports, they're not.
Just so we're all on the same page, what are e-cigarettes?
I believe e-cigarettes are electronic cigarettes.
Correct. Sometimes referred to as a vape pen, there are three parts to an e-cigarette. The vaporizer, that's a tiny heating device. There's the battery, and then there's the cartridge. This holds the liquid that is heated, giving off a vapor that looks like smoke.
An e-cigarette is like a cleaner version of a cigarette. I think it's with water vapor.
Actually, it's not. Many experts believe that the vapor contains dangerous chemicals, including propylene glycol, which is often used in antifreeze put in cars.
The biggest issue with nicotine is that it's very, very highly addictive. And nicotine of itself can cause long-term health issues to your heart, to your lungs, and the brain with memory issues, with behavioral problems.
I think e-cigarettes are worse for teenagers than regular cigarettes because e-cigarettes give you a false sense of security. You tend to think, oh, they're safer, it's just the nicotine and not all those other chemicals. But really, the nicotine is what hooks you, what gets you addicted to smoking.
Yet many teens continue to vape. According to the federal government, more than 2.5 million high school and middle school students use e-cigarettes. What may confuse many teens is that they hear that adults use e-cigarettes as a supposedly healthier alternative to smoking.
And I think it's meant as a way for people to quit smoking so it's not as addictive as real cigarettes.
But, as we've heard, e-cigarettes still have nicotine. So don't make the mistake of believing they're safe.
I understand the sort of the coolness of it, and you think that you might see other adults doing it, which makes you think that it's safe, but it's really not safe for anyone, and it's especially harmful for the teenagers.
I think teens smoke e-cigarettes because they think it's cool and that it's like a social thing to them, and they don't think it's as bad as normal cigarettes.
Probably from peer pressure, just to look cool. I just think people see other people doing it, and that's why they do them so much.
Adding to the attraction is the fact that e-cigarettes can often come in different flavors. For example, they can be made to taste like fruit or even candy.
I think e-cigarettes come in different flavors to appeal to more people than just normal cigarettes do.
I think because it appeals more to kids and it'll make them want to buy it.
So when you're using a vape, even if it's a flavored vape, no matter what kind of vape it is, there is nicotine in the vape.
By the way, if you already smoke regular cigarettes, switching to vaping is not the right way to quit.
E-cigarettes should not be used as a method to stop smoking. There are other better ways that can be used under a doctor's care to help curb the smoking cravings.
There's a lot we still don't know about e-cigarettes, but one thing is for sure. E-cigarettes are no match for a healthy lifestyle. If you do smoke and want to quit, you can call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. They even have a special program just for teens. I'm Benjamin for Teen Kids News.
We still have a lot more to tell you about. Teen Kids News will be right back. Here's Emily with our bit of Belgium report.
This field looks so peaceful. Hard to imagine it was once the killing grounds for one of the most famous battles in history. This is Waterloo. On June 18, 1815, the greatest general of his day, many say the greatest general ever, risked it all. He was Napoleon Bonapart. His military genius and political savvy enabled him to not only become the ruler of France, but an emperor who controlled most of Europe. He had been riding high until he decided to invade Russia. Big mistake. And he did it in winter. Even bigger mistake. Rather than surrendering, the Russian generals decided to burn their own farmlands, as well as their capital city, Moscow, depriving Napoleon food and supplies for his troops. Napoleon was forced to retreat. Bitter cold and starvation killed more French than did Russian bullets. The invasion of Russia had started with an army of 600,000. Incredibly, only 30,000 returned to France. Napoleon was forced to abdicate and was sent into exile on the island of Elba. But he escaped. Unlike this picture, there were no crowds. He quietly boarded a ship and snuck back into France with a handful of followers. An army was sent to stop him, but instead, they joined him. He marched into Paris and declared himself emperor again. Furious, England, Prussia, the Netherlands, and a few other allies agreed to mobilize. Napoleon knew his only chance of defeating these powerful adversaries depended on two things. He couldn't wait for them to attack. He'd have to attack them. And he needed to do it before the Allies could join forces. And that's what brought Napoleon and his army to this field in Belgium. We'll continue our story on the battle that changed history when Teen Kids News continues. Welcome to the Waterloo Battlefield Museum. The museum is crammed with fascinating exhibits, from coming face to face with a guillotine to seeing the faces of many of those who had a role to play during what historians call the Napoleonic era. There are pictures that seem to bring the history alive. Kinda looks like the moving paintings in Harry Potter, doesn't it? Glass cases contain the weapons of early 19th century warfare. Flintlock rifles, pistols, and sabers, as well as life-size models of the men who wielded them. On this side are the French. Over here are the Allies. This scene shows a French conference of war just before the battle. Surprisingly, Napoleon is sitting quietly off to the side. Usually, Napoleon is portrayed in far more heroic style. You'll also meet the two generals determined to crush Napoleon once and for all: England's Duke of Wellington and Prussia's Field Marshal Blücher. Fortunately for Napoleon, Wellington's army and Blücher's army hadn't linked up yet. Wellington's soldiers were already at Waterloo, but they desperately needed Blücher to join them. So Napoleon's plan was to fight the British first and defeat them, then turn and face the smaller Prussian army. To get an idea of the scope of the battle, we need to go to another building. This building. And it's round for a reason. Inside is a breathtaking artist's conception of what the Battle of Waterloo might have looked like. The immense painting runs along the wall of the entire building. So with all that in mind, let's go to a place where you can get a unique view of the battlefield. This is the Lion Mound. It's a man-made hill 14 stories high. You can walk up the 226 steps, or you can try to run. Let's go. Some celebrate when they reach the top. The views from up here are truly awesome. The French were arrayed in this direction, and the British were over here. The Prussians still hadn't arrived. Wellington had a crucial decision to make: stay and fight, hoping Blücher will arrive on time, or turn and flee. Blücher had promised he'd come, and Wellington was about to wager everything on that promise. The battle began in the late morning. After repeated attacks and counterattacks, by mid-afternoon, the British were being hard-pressed. It looked like the French were going to win. And then, Blücher and his Prussians arrived, turning the tide of battle. In desperation, Napoleon finally sends in his most trusted soldiers, the Old Guard. They had never been defeated, but they were today. There's a famous story that when a British officer asked the Old Guard to surrender, their general replied,
La garde meurt, mais ne se rend pas.
"The guard dies but does not surrender." Seeing that all was lost, Napoleon fled to Paris, where he again was forced to abdicate. This time, he was sent even farther away, and he died on the lonely island, St. Helena. Though most military experts agree that Blücher saved Wellington's bacon, it's Wellington who became the famous hero of the Battle of Waterloo. There are 39 places around the world named Wellington, including 20 in the United States. Footwear was named after him. These are Wellington boots. And you can probably guess the name of this tasty dish, beef Wellington. The battle is so famous, the word Waterloo is now used to refer to anyone's major defeat. As in, failing that history test was my Waterloo. Guess I should have watched more Teen Kids News. With a bit of Belgium, I'm Emily.
It's time for a quick commercial break, but we'll be right back with more Teen Kids News, so don't go away. Before you buy an expensive cream to get rid of a pimple, try this. Toothpaste. Yep, some experts claim it not only works, it works quickly. I kid you not. They don't specify what brand to use, so I guess any toothpaste will do. So, before you turn in for the night, put a little bit of it on your zit, and don't forget to wash it off before you go to school. And let us know if it works.
If you look at the official emblem for Australia, what they call their coat of arms, you'll see two animals. On the left is a kangaroo. On the right is a giant bird called the emu. There's a rather interesting reason why these two were chosen. Neither can walk backwards. The designers of the coat of arms like that. It sends a message that Australia only moves forward, never backwards.
Speeding. It's the top cause of crashes with teen drivers. So the next time you get the urge to speed, keep this message in mind from the National Road Safety Foundation.
Flowers wither away, but they return in spring. Cuts bleed, but they eventually heal. So will the broken bones in my legs. But the pain from the invisible hole in my chest will never go away. Because I'll never see my brother again, and I miss him. If only he hadn't been speeding.
Don't miss the other cool videos created by the NRSF. It's easy to find more. Simply like, follow, and subscribe to the National Road Safety Foundation.
Hi, I'm Leahona.
And I'm Amin.
And we're this week's Rising Stars.
Next on Teen Kids News.
You make me forget it. You make me forget it.
Let's meet this week's Rising Star.
It's not unusual for brothers and sisters to fight. What is unusual is when sibling fighting can earn you a golden ticket to American Idol. I'll explain that in a second. First, let's listen to a song by this Hawaiian-born brother and sister team, Amin and Leahona.
I know I've been keeping things to myself. So many things I know that aren't good for my health. But I know that you know me and I can tell. You make me forget it. You make me forget it. Don't you know? When I hear those laughs and I see all those smiles, it makes me wanna stop and stay just for a while. Yeah, even if I had to walk 100 miles, you make me forget it. You make me forget it. Don't you know?
Nice. Welcome to Teen Kids News.
Hi. Thank you for having us.
Glad to have you. So, you took a pretty unconventional path to success. Originally from Hawaii, your family moved to Utah. But then one day your parents suddenly quit their jobs and everything changed.
Yeah, so living in Utah, we kind of had everything we wanted. I was in sports and Leah was in musically trained and everything.
Music,
Yes,
academics.
whatever.
So we never saw each other.
Yeah, so we really never saw each other as a family. So my mom especially wanted us to move back to Hawaii to kind of connect with our roots again or with our heritage.
And connect with each other.
Yeah, to come closer together as a family.
Moving to Hawaii sounds like fun, but it was actually rather challenging, wasn't it?
At first, yes, it was definitely challenging. We had to raise goats, chickens.
Well, you didn't really raise the goat, but I raised the goat.
Yeah, right, whatever. And then we had to take showers with the water hose. We had to wash our dishes and our clothes in totes. It was very hard at the beginning. And, I did not understand it at first. But, after being with my family and being close to them, the closest I've ever been in all my years of living with them, it was definitely a beautiful experience to see how amazing or how beautiful it is to have a family like this and how amazing my siblings actually are.
And you didn't even have electricity and lived in tents, right?
Yep, yes, we did.
That was hard.
Once, was it a 6-man tent with all of us in it?
There were 6 kids at the time. There's 9 of us now, but there were 6, and we had to sleep with each other. We were with each other 24/7. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, in a strange way, though, that's what got you on track for writing and performing music.
Yeah, so because of that, we had so much time to ourselves without all the distractions like phones or even school. I don't think we really did school.
No, we went to the beach every day.
Yeah, no, we did work too. Yes, I did that a lot too. And I remember it was a rainy Sunday and I was just laying down, kind of being lazy. And my dad walks in and he said, stop being lazy. How's about you go try write a song? And I thought he was being serious, so
it was a joke.
I know he was joking, but I thought he was being serious. So being a good, obedient son, I went to go write a song. In a couple hours, I came back and showed it to Leah, and I think that's what inspired her too. So I think I'm Leah's inspiration.
I'm never gonna admit it.
She's already admitted before, so
no way.
Yes.
Talk about making lemonade out of lemons. Or maybe in your case, making coconut milk out of coconuts.
Yeah, definitely.
So, how did you go from roughing it in tents to getting an audition for American Idol?
The process was actually pretty crazy, and it's so fast. We went through it so fast, it's still unbelievable to this day.
Yeah, that's like a dream.
But because of COVID, they had virtual auditions the year that we tried out. So my mom was looking for a way for us to get exposure. And sure enough, she found American Idol auditions and said, hey, you guys want to try out? So Emin and I, not thinking much of it, we're like, okay. So we went and gave an audition of a video of our original song that we actually competed for our first audition on TV called I Don't Want to Be Alone. 24 hours later, the producers call us back and they're like, we want you in Hollywood in 2 weeks in front of the celebrity judges on national TV. And it was a crazy process. And we got the golden ticket and that was that.
And then how far did you get?
So I made it to Hollywood Week and Leah made it to
the top 24.
Yeah, it's okay.
I got bragging rights to
Whatever.
this
It doesn't
day.
even matter.
I'm sure the competition was tough, but still a thrill to get that far, no?
The competition definitely was tough, but everybody there was so supportive of each other and very encouraging because to be on national TV, let alone
Scary.
be in front of celebrity
so
judges,
nervous.
it's nerve-wracking. And it was just nice to have the support, especially to have him in the audition room.
You too.
We needed that moral support.
The song you performed was inspired by the fact that you guys would often fight, although it doesn't seem that way from talking to you. But tell us about that.
So yeah, me and Leah are pretty close in age. We're like a year and a couple of days apart. And before we went to Hawaii, we barely got along with each other. And our rooms are right next to each other too, so we share the same bathroom. And I remember we got into a big fight, and we didn't talk to each other for about a week or something like that.
Week.
So
it was awkward.
Yeah, so we would go in the bathroom, be brushing our teeth, and Leah would just glare at me. I already forgave her though, but yeah, she didn't forgive me. So
that's what we wrote a song about. That was our experience, because in the heat of an argument, you say things in the moment that you don't really mean. And in the end, you love that person and you don't want to be alone. Hence the name of our song, I Don't Want to Be Alone.
Well, it's so great that the two of you have made up from your fight, and I'm sure you're going to have a wonderful future together. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Here's All For You by Ammon and Leona. For Teen Kids News, I'm Katarina.
Causing me so much pain.
That's it for this edition of Teen Kids News. Thanks for watching. See you again next week.